Okay, for math today, we're going to do this paper about story problems, okay? We're going to work through this together, so don't worry. We will go through the entire paper together, so find the one with story problems. And it says to use your number rack. I know you all don't have your number racks with you, so if you have beads, crayons, Legos, just something you could use to help you in place of your number racks, that would be great, okay? Or if you want to use tally marks or something, that whatever will help you to solve these problems in place of your number racks, okay? So before we get started though, let's do what we would do for our calendar, okay? So we're in a new month, okay? Last month was October, so what is our new month? Okay, if you said November, you are correct, okay? So November. So let's say our months together. Ready? And there's how many months in a year? 12. So it's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay? And so we've had November 1st. That was on Sunday. So we've got new cards, and now we've got a cookie. That should be interesting. We've got a cookie for November 1st, which was Sunday. Yesterday, Monday, was November 2nd. And now we have a bear that says chomp. I think the bear might have ate the cookie from the 1st. What do you think? Okay, so yesterday was the 2nd. So what is today? The 3rd. So it's November 3rd. I don't think my marker's dying on me. Here we go. Maybe not. Okay, November 3rd, and the year stayed the same. The year is 2020, and it is Tuesday. There it is. Yep. Need to find me a new marker here in a second. Let me get a better marker. Sorry about that. Let's see if the black one wants to work. So our date is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. Okay? So one more time. Ready? Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. So our cards are kind of interesting this month. Okay? So we've got a whole cookie. Then we have a bear that says chomp. I'm pretty sure he might have eaten the cookie. And then today, it is split in half. So when we get back together and we can do our full grid that we fill out, these are going to be rather interesting cards to fill out, it looks like to me, okay? So that's something for us to look forward to. Okay, so now we have our story problems. Okay, and I do have my number rack. Let's see if we can get this to work. Let's see. There we go. I'll just stick it here. So I have my number rack with me. So we can use my number rack to help you with your word problems, okay? So, number 1 says, Jack had 4 ladybugs in a jar, okay? So, how many beads am I going to move over? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, he has 4 ladybugs in a jar. So, whatever you're using, whether it's beads or Legos or whatever you're using, you need to start out with 4 of them. Okay? On his walk, he collected 3 more ladybugs. So how many am I going to put on the second row? 3. So 1, 2, 3. So how many ladybugs does he have now? Okay. If you don't know, you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you said 7, you are correct. Okay. So letter A says model and solve this problem on your number rack. Again, I know you don't have yours to show me, so if you want to draw the picture on the side to show me how you modeled it, or on a separate piece of paper if you want to draw all your models and then send that to me. However you want to do it, that works for me. Okay. And then B says Jack has blank ladybugs. And what did we say he had? 7. So Jack has 7 ladybugs. Okay, then you're going to write an equation for this story problem. So what would our equation be? Okay, so we've got blank plus blank equals blank. Okay, so we're going to figure out what goes in each of these boxes. If you remember, we've talked about our equations before. And you start out, whatever your answer is, that's always your equals. Okay, so we know that the 7 is going to go in the last box because that's how much he has total. He has 7 total. So now we're going to look back at our number rack. How many did he have on the top row? Or how many did he start with? He started with 4, right? So 4 is going to go in your first box. And on his walk, how many did Jack collect? He collected 3 more. So your equation would be 4 plus 3 equals 7. Okay. So let's look at number 2 now, okay? So I'm going to send my ladybugs back on their way. Bye-bye, ladybugs. There we go. Okay, so now number 2. I don't know if I can... There we go, let's try that. Number 2 says, Amber gathered 20 acorns and put them by a tree, okay? So she's got 20 acorns. So we're going to start with a pretty big number, okay? So we have how many red? There's 5 red, and then we've got 5 white. So we know 5 plus 5 is 10. Awesome. So again, on the bottom, we've got 5 white. Not the whites, sorry. 5 red. I need to learn my colors, don't I? So we got 5 red, and now I'm going to add the 5 whites, okay? So we can count them by 5s. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, or we can count by 10s. 10, 20. So we've got 20 acorns, okay? So again, whatever you're using to show your 20 acorns. And so they're by the tree. So a squirrel ran away with some of Amber's acorns. That wasn't very nice of the squirrel, was it? So now Amber only had 9 acorns left. So they want us to figure out how many acorns the squirrel took. It says, how many acorns did the squirrel take? So how could we do this? She only has 9 left. So we know that there are how many on each row? 10. So if there's 10 in each row and we need 9 left, we know we can get rid of the complete bottom row. Okay, so those acorns the squirrel ran away with, okay? So we took 10 away, so now how many do we have? We have 10. But it said that Amber only has how many left? 9. So how many do I need to get rid of on the top row? 1. If you said 1, you are correct. So now am I left with 9 over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is what Amber had left. So now I'm going to move my little board over to hide Amber's acorns because she doesn't want the squirrel to take anymore. So now she's going to hide them. And we're going to see how many the squirrel ran away with. That squirrel had some pretty big hands, didn't he, to carry all these acorns, okay? So let's see, how many did the squirrel run away with? Well, we have how many up here by itself? 1. And if you remember, there's how many on each row? There's 10. Or if you didn't remember there was 10 on the bottom, you could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can count them by ones. Or if you see that there's 5 red ones and 5 white ones, you can count by 5s, 5, 10. But either way, we know that there's 10 on the bottom and 1 on the top. So we've got 10, 11, okay? So the squirrel took 11 of her acorns. Poor Amber. So letter A, once again, says model and solve this on your number rack. Again, since you can't show me your rack, you don't have your rack to show me if you want to draw the picture or just take a picture of how you model it and send that to me, that would be great. So letter B says the squirrel took how many acorns? Well, how many did the squirrel take? 11. So we're going to put 11. Let me number these for you. So that's number 1. This is number 2. The squirrel took 11 acorns. So now we're going to write an equation. So blank minus blank equals blank. Well, like I said before, when we've already solved it and we're figuring out what the equation should be, whatever our answer was goes in the last box. So what am I putting in the last box? 11. Okay, so we know it equals 11. So now we got to figure out what 2 numbers to put in the other boxes. So we can put all the beads back together and resolve it. That's one way to do it. Or we can go back and read our problem, okay? So it said Amber gathered 20 acorns. So that's the biggest number. That's what we're starting with. So the number we're starting with goes in the first box. And the squirrel ran away with some of her acorns. And now how many does she have left? 9. So 20 minus 9 equals 11. Okay, so we've figured out that 4 plus 3 equals 7. And now we figured out that 20 minus 9 equals 11. Okay, so I'm going to push the acorns back over. And now we're going to look at the second page, okay? Number 3 says, Troy, my tongue's getting tied, sorry, has 9 flowers, okay? So we're going to start with 9 flowers. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Is that right? 9 flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or you could see it 5 and 4. Okay, so we got 9 flowers. Jade has 5 flowers. So how many am I going to move to from the bottom? 5. So all my red's going over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who has more flowers, Troy or Jade? And then they want us to figure out how many more. Okay, so who does have the most flowers? The one that has 9, right? Troy. So for number 3, we're going to put in the first blank, Troy has, and then in the second blank, we don't know yet, more flowers than Jade. So we got to figure out how many more flowers he has than Jade, okay? So what would be an easy way to do this? Okay, I'm sure you all have great ideas. Here's the idea I came up with. I'm looking and I'm noticing that my reds match, right? So if my reds match, then it's my whites beads that are more on the top row than on the bottom row. So if I can just count my white beads, then I know how many more Troy has than Jade. So let's figure out how many white beads there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, count by 2s. 2, 4. So if he has the white beads or the white flowers more, so he has how many more flowers? 4. So in that second blank in your sentence, you're going to put 4. Troy has 4 more flowers than Jade. Okay, that's how I saw it. Or we could do, we see that there's how many on the bottom here? There was 5 on the bottom. So if I take away 5 from the top, let me move those so it's not to confuse you. If I take away 5 from the top, 2, 4, 5, then I can also count how many is left. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another way we could have done it. And I'm sure you all had wonderful ideas that I wish I could hear how you solved it, okay? So again, it says model and solve this problem. So again, same thing. Letter B, Troy has 4 more flowers than Jade. And now for our equation, blank minus blank equals blank. Okay, so our equals this time is the number that we have here, so it's going to be 4. Okay, so we're going to start off with how many beads? How many did Troy have? How many flowers does he have? He has 9. So 9 minus the amount of Jade's flowers. How many flowers does Jade have? She has 5. So 9 minus 5 equals 4. So now we figured out that 4 plus 3 equals 7. 20 minus 9 equals 11. And Troy had 4 more beads than Jade, so that let us figure out that 9 minus 5 equals 4. We're almost there. Now we've got our challenge problem. So put on that thinking cap, and we're going to think really hard, okay, for our last one. We can do this. It says, first of all, though, I need to put my flowers back in their little garden over here. Okay. So Isabella had some shells. Justin gave her 5 more shells, okay? We don't know how many she started with, but we now know that she does have how many from Justin? 5. So I'm going to go ahead and move my 5 red beads or my 5 red shells over there. Okay, so she's got 5 shells that we know so far. And then Kayla gave her 3 more shells, okay? So how many did Kayla give her? 3. So I'm going to move 3 shells from the bottom. When Isabella counted all her shells, she had 18. So how many shells did Isabella have to begin with? We do need to think hard about this one, don't we? So she now has 5 from Justin and 3 from Kayla. So we can figure out 5 plus 3 equals 8. So right now we know she has 8 shells, okay? Let me move my little screen here. So we know she has 8, okay? And we need to get to how many does she have altogether? 18. What are your thoughts? How could we do this? Okay. Good thoughts, I'm sure. So let's do this. Like we have 8. So we can count 2, 4, 6, 8. And there goes my number rack. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, so that's what we need to get to, right? So we counted it by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. Then we counted by 2s to add some. 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So these 2 over here we don't need, so I'm going to cover those up. So now how many did we add? We had 8, and we added how many in the middle here do we have? How many are in the middle section? Okay, let's count to make sure you're right. Ready? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So if you said that we've got 10 in the middle, you were right. Or you can count it by ones if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got 10 in the middle. So how many shells did Isabella start with? That's right. She started with 10 shells. You say, Miss Allen, you just confused me. Hang on. If I did, I'm sorry. We'll figure that out. Hopefully I didn't, but if I did, we had 8 over here, the 5 from Justin, and the 3 from Jade. No, not Jade. Jade was giving flowers out, sorry. Kayla's giving out shells. So we got the 5 from Justin and the 3 from Kayla, and we know that was 8. So in order to figure out how many more she started out with to get to 18, we counted by 2s to get to 18. So we went 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. So now that I have 18 total on this side of my screen, I know what we're working with. We have these 18 shells, okay? She was given these 5 shells from Justin. She was given these 3 shells from Kayla, okay? So she was given those. We know she has this many total. So she was given those. What she had started with is what we have now in the middle. So we're going to count these. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we know now that she started with 10 shells, okay? She was given the 8. She has 18 now, so 10 plus 8 is 18, okay? So for number 4, which we're going to squeeze somewhere on my little board here, let's put it right here. Number 4, it says, again, model it same way you've been doing. Isabella had blank shells to begin with. Again, that's the shells that we added to the middle. And how many is here? 10. So she had 10 shells to begin with. Okay, so now we're going to write that equation, okay? You see, this time we have 3 boxes. Don't let that scare you, because we're going to do the same thing we've been doing when there were only 2 boxes to add. So now we have a total of 4 boxes with 3 to add together, okay? So again, this time though, where I said whatever you equal our answer was goes in the last box, I'm sorry, that is not true for this case, okay? And I'll explain to you why. If you look at your story problem, it said Isabella had some shells. Justin gave her 5 shells, okay? So 5 is what's on our top row. 5 is going to go in our first box, okay? Then Kayla gave her how many more shells? 3. So we're going to look at our bottom row. We got 3 more shells. Okay, so 5 plus 3, if you want to do that, is 8. Okay, then it says when Isabella counted all her shells, she had 18. So 18 is her total, and the total is what goes in your last box. So if 18 is our total, that goes in the last box. So now we've used 5, 3, and 18. What number are we going to put in this middle box, or in that last box there? We've used number 5, number 3, and number 18. So number 10 is going to go in that box because that's the only number we haven't used, okay? We've used 5, 3, altogether it's 18. So what is in the middle is what we did not use, and that's 10. So 5 plus 3 is 8. So now if you do 8 plus 10, that gives you 18. So our sides match. So 5 plus 3 plus 10 equals 18. Okay. So that is your math worksheet for today. Hopefully that made sense to all of you. I know not being together in class and talking things out together and thinking things through together is a little challenging. So hopefully that you were still able to follow and through your thinking and figure it out. If you are confused or have any questions or need help or need me to explain something a different way, just let me know and I will be happy to do that for you. So this was math today. So again, we found out that Jack had 7 ladybugs. 4 plus 3 equals 7. Then we found out that the squirrel took 11 of Amber's acorns. She started out with 20. Then she only had 9 left, so 20 minus 9 is 11. The squirrel took 11. Then we learned that, I'll bring it a little closer so you can see it in case you need it. There you go. Then we learned that Troy has 4 more flowers than Jade. So 9, which was Troy's amount, minus 5, which was Jade's amount, equals 4. And then we put on our thinking caps and thought really hard and learned that Isabella started out with 10 seashells, that Justin gave her 5, Kayla gave her 3, she started with 10, so altogether she now has 18 seashells. So hopefully you enjoyed math today, and if you have any questions or need any help, just please let me know.